So in yesterday class, I have explained about types of the X-rays and also Duné and law. So the next is very important law, Mosley law. This is also very important for the exam, Mosley law. The law had been discovered and published by English physicist Henry Moseley. The law had been discovered and also published by English physicist Henry Moseley in the year 1913, 1914. So the law had been this Moseley law. This law should be discovered and published by English physicist Henry Moseley. Therefore, this law is named as the his name only Moseley's law. So this Moseley was given by Henry Moseley. He is the English physicist. He gave this theory or law in the year 1913, 1914. So this law states that this is the statement. This law states that the frequency of a spectral line, the frequency of a
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್
spectral
ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ
line.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡು. The frequency of a spectral line in X-ray spectrum is directly
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್
proportional
ಫುಲ್
to
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ
No,
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್,
ma'am,
ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಇವಾಗ
ಇವಾಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇವಾಗ.
So, this law states that the frequency of a spectral line in X-ray spectrum is directly proportional to the square of the atomic number of the element. So Moseley law, this law had been discovered and published by the English physicist Henry Moseley in the year 1913, 1914. According to him, this law states that the frequency of a spectral line is in the X-ray spectrum is directly proportional to square of the atomic number of that element. So according to this law, if mu is the frequency, is directly proportional to square of the atomic number of the element. So this is the law. Hence, this law is named as Moseley because he is given this law in the, therefore is named as the Moseley's law. So in the examination, the statement is asked for the 2 marks. If we plot a graph of frequency, square root of frequency versus atomic number Z. Atomic number Z. We get a continuous straight line. This is for K alpha and this is for K beta.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಇವಾಗ
ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗೇ ಇದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Okay, ma'am.
So if mu is the frequency, let us consider if mu is the frequency of the spectral line in the X-ray spectrum is emitted by the atom of atomic number Z. So let us consider if mu is the frequency of the spectral line in the X-ray spectrum is emitted by the atom having the atomic number Z. Then we know that according to Mosley law, what it says that this frequency is directly proportional to the atomic square of the atomic number of that element. So mu is directly proportional to Z square, or Mosley also give this square root of mu should be equal to A into Z minus B. So this is also the empirical formula of the Mosley law. This is called as the empirical formula of the Mosley law. Square root of mu is equal to A into Z minus B. This is very important formula. So where we know that where mu is the frequency, Z is the atomic number, and A and B are the constant. They will be depending upon the particular atom or any material we use. So A and B will be constant. They depend on that atom. So the constant B is also known as the nuclear screening constant. So the constant B is called as the nuclear screening constant. So from Bohr's theory, from using Bohr's theory, so according to Bohr's theory, 1 by lambda should be given by R into Z minus B whole square and into 1 by N1 square, 1 by N2 square. From Bohr's theory, 1 by lambda is given by R into Z minus B whole square into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. We know that where R is the Rydberg constant, where R is the Rydberg constant, R is the Rydberg constant, N1 and N2 are the, we know that they are the energy levels. N1 and N2 are the energy levels between which the transition occurs. So these are the N1 and N2 are the energy levels between what the transition will be occur. So this is, for example, this is N1, N2. The transition occur between N1 to N2. Therefore, N1, N2 are the energy levels between which the transition occur. But we know that there is a relation between mu and lambda, but C is equal to mu into lambda, or 1 by lambda is equal to mu by C. Or this equation becomes 1 by lambda is equal to mu by C. Therefore, 1 by lambda becomes mu by C should be equal to R into Z minus B whole square into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. So, let us consider if mu is the frequency of the spectral line and Z is the atomic number of the atom, then we know that according to Mosley law, this mu should be directly proportional to the square of the atomic number of that element. Or square root of mu should be equal to A into Z minus B. So this equation 1 is also known as empirical formula. This formula will be given by Mosley. So this is the empirical formula. From Gauss theory, 1 by lambda is given by R into Z minus B whole square into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square, where lambda is wavelength, R we know that Rydberg, R is the Rydberg constant, and we know that Z is the atomic number, where B is constant. N1, N2 are the energy levels. So energy levels between which the transition occur. But we know that, but C is given by mu into lambda. Just rearrange this equation. 1 by lambda is equal to C, mu by C. Just rearranging the terms. So therefore 1 by lambda becomes mu by C. Substitute this 1 by lambda in this expression. Therefore 1 by lambda becomes mu by C. So 1 by lambda in place, right? Mu by C should be equal to R into Z minus B whole square into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. Let us consider when N1 is equal to 1 and N2 should be equal to 2. When N1 is 1 and N2 is 2, then this equation becomes mu by C should be equal to R into Z minus B whole square into 1 by N1 square is, N1 is 1, therefore 1 square minus 1 by N2 is 2, 2 square. Therefore, mu by C is equal to R into Z minus B whole square into, take the LCM, therefore 4, 2 square is 4, 4 minus 1, directly I write it as 3. Why? Because if we take the LCM 4 minus 1 is 3, therefore 3 by 4 R, 3R by 4 into Z minus B whole square. R mu should be equal to, take C to RHS, therefore it becomes 3RC. Take R to this side, 3, it becomes 3R into C divided by 4 into Z minus B whole square. So this becomes mu is equal to 3RC. We know that if we take the square root on both sides, if we take the square root of mu should be equal to, take the square root of 3RC by 4 into Z minus B, or square root of mu is equal to A into Z minus B, where A is equal to square root of 3RC by 4. This is the, hence the Mosley law. This is the empirical formula. This proves that the empirical formula by using the Gauss theory. So, what Mosley's law states that this law will be given by the English physicist Henry Mosley in the year 1913-1914. Therefore, this law is named as Mosley law. According to him, the frequency of the spectral line in the X-ray spectrum is directly proportional to, frequency of the spectral line is directly proportional to the square of the atomic number of that element. Which atom will be, which element we use, that element has some atomic number, so is directly proportional to the square of the atomic number. If let us consider, if mu is the frequency, that is the atomic number, according to Mosley law, mu is directly proportional to Z square. So this is the Mosley law. So next is explain. In the examination, they ask for 6 marks. State and explain Mosley law. So for statement 2 marks, for this explanation 4 marks. Total 6 marks. Either Mosley law will be asked for statement only for 2 marks. So in for 2 marks, write only statement. So this is the mathematical expression. If we write this mu is directly proportional to Z square, they give only 1 mark. So for the statement, you have to write statement. So if we plot a graph of square root of frequency versus atomic number Z, we observe in this graph diagram. So it gives the, if we plot a graph of frequency versus atomic number, we get the straight line. This is for K alpha and this is for the K beta. So let us consider if mu is the frequency of the spectral line and Z is the atomic number. We know that according to Mosley law, mu, this frequency should be directly proportional to the square root of the atomic number Z, or square root of mu is equal to A into Z minus B. We have to prove that this equation. This is called as the empirical formula. Empirical formula of Mosley. This is given by Mosley. This is the a very important equation, empirical formula. Square root of mu is equal to A into Z minus B. Let us take it as equation 1. From Bohr's theory, we know that 1 by lambda is equal to R into Z minus B whole square into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square, where R is the Rydberg constant, lambda is the wavelength, Z is the atomic number, B is a constant, N1, N2 are the energy levels of the spectrum where the transition occur. But we know that C is equal to mu lambda, or just rearrange the terms. 1 by lambda is equal to mu by C. So substitute for 1 by lambda in this equation. What we get, 1 by lambda becomes mu by C is equal to, right? RHS will be as it is. R into Z minus B whole square into 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. Let us take when N1 becomes 1 and N2 becomes 2, then mu by C is equal to R into Z minus B whole square. 1 by N1 is 1, 1 square, N2 is 2, 2 square. So 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 2 square. 1 square is nothing but 1, 2 square is 4. Take the LCM. So LCM will be 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. In this, I am directly write it as 3. So 4 minus 1 is 3. And 3R by 4 into Z minus B whole square. So R next, in the next step, take the C to RHS. Take to C to RHS. Therefore, it becomes mu is equal to 3R into C divided by 4 into Z minus B whole square as it is. Take the square root on both sides. If we take the square root, we get square root of mu should be equal to square root of 3RC by 4 into Z minus B whole square becomes Z minus B. Or square root of mu should be equal to, take this term is equal to constant A into Z minus B, where A is nothing but what? Square root of 3RC by 4. Hence, this the Mosley law will be proved. This is the empirical formula of the Mosley law. So this is the Mosley law and the explanation or the theory of the Mosley. We have to prove that the empirical formula. So in the examination, they ask for the 6 must state and explain. Any doubt in this Mosley law? This is also very important for the examination. Why this Mosley law will be important? What is the importance of this Mosley law? Why we need to study this Mosley law? This is very important to study this Mosley law. Why? Because according to Mosley law, the atomic number but not the atomic weight determines the physical and chemical properties of the element. Before Mosley, they thought that this atomic number, atomic weight will be determining the physical and chemical properties of the element. But after the Mosley, according to Mosley, we know that the atomic number but not the atomic weight will be determines the physical and chemical properties of the element. So it is help for the correct arrangement of the elements in the periodic table. We know that in the periodic table, elements will be placed according to this law. So it help very important for the arrangement of elements in the periodic table according to their atomic number but not their atomic weight. So we know that in the periodic table, all the elements will be arranged according to the atomic number but not their atomic weight. Let us consider one example. So according, what is the first importance? The elements arrangement. The elements arrangement in the arranged in the periodic table. Arrange in the periodic table according to their atomic number. According to their atomic number, but not their atomic weight. So one example is, let us consider one example. You observe that the atomic number of cobalt is, we know that 27. What is the atomic number of nickel? Nickel atomic number is 28. So what is the atomic mass? Atomic mass of the cobalt is 58.93 units. Atomic mass of the nickel is 58.69 unit. So in the periodic table, which element will be placed? Cobalt is placed before or nickel placed? In the periodic table, cobalt is placed before the nickel. According to this is the periodic table, cobalt is placed before the nickel. But we know that the cobalt atomic number is 27 and atomic number of nickel is 28. But the elements will be arranged in the periodic table according to their atomic number, but not their atomic weight. So if we consider the atomic weight, so it is the difference. Therefore, elements arranged in the periodic table according to based on the atomic number, but not on the atomic mass. So in this periodic table, it is very important. Cobalt is placed before the nickel based on this Mosley law. So this is the very important. All the elements will be arranged in the periodic table according to Mosley law.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್
Huh?
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಫೋಟೋ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆ.
So this is the first importance. What is the first important? Element should be arranged in the periodic table according to their atomic number, but not their atomic weight. So this is the atomic weight or atomic mass. This is the atomic number. Therefore, cobalt is placed before the nickel. So the second advantage is it also leads to the discovery of new elements. Preeti. So the second importance is discovery. It also leads or help in the discovery of the new elements. Help for the discovery of the new elements, like, for example, hafnium, atomic number 72, promethium, atomic number 61, etc. So why we use or why we study the Mosley law is very important. Why? Because after they give the Mosley law, it is a lot of importance. The first one is all the elements should be arranged in the periodic table based on this Mosley law, and also it help for the discovery of the new elements like hafnium 72, promethium 61, etc. These new elements should be discovered by using the Mosley law. The third importance is it also helps in the determination of the atomic number of rare earth element. It helps in the determination of atomic number of rare earth elements and their position in the periodic table where we have to place the rare earth elements in the periodic table, and also they determine the atomic number of rare earth element. So this is also given by the Mosley law. The next one is, it also confirms the value of the Planck's constant. This Mosley law confirms the Planck's constant. So they give the very important. So we know that Planck's constant H. It also confirms the value of that Planck's constant. So this is the importance of the Mosley law. So this is very important. So why we study the Mosley law? If we know the Mosley law only, after this law, the elements should be arranged in the periodic table according to their atomic number, but not their atomic weight. This is the atomic number, this is the atomic weight. Therefore, in the periodic table, after this class will be finished, they search in the mobile or textbook, cobalt will be placed before the nickel. So due to this law only, this is one example. So the second importance is very important. The Mosley law will be help in the discovery of the new elements like Hafnium 72, Promethium 61, etc. will be discovered on the basis of Mosley law. The third importance, very important, helps in the determine the atomic number of rare earth elements. If we know the law, according to this law, we know the atomic number of rare earth elements, and also what the position in which place we have to place the rare earth elements. That means their position in the periodic table also given by this Mosley law. The last very importance of Mosley law is they confirm the value of the Planck's constant. The Mosley law confirm the Planck's constant H. The value of H. What is the value of H? 6.625 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second. This value should be confirmed by the methods of determining many methods, and confirm the Planck's constant is given by Mosley law. So this is very important, Mosley law. Any doubt in this Mosley law explanation and importance of Mosley law? So next is very important, Bragg's law. This is very, very important, Bragg's law. So in the examination, they ask state and explain Bragg's law, and also Bragg's spectrometer. This is very important, Bragg's law of X-ray radiation. It states that, so the William Henry Bragg and his son William Lawrence Bragg, they discovered this law. Hence, they named as the Bragg's law. William Henry Bragg and his son William Lawrence Bragg. They give the law for the X-ray diffraction. Hence, this law is named as the Bragg's law. So they received Nobel Prize in the year 1915 for this service in the analysis of the crystal structure by means of this X-ray diffraction. Therefore, after they given this law, they received the analysis of many crystals using this Bragg spectrometer. Hence, they received the Nobel Prize in the year 1915. So, according to him, this law states that the Bragg's law states that when the X-ray is incident onto a crystal surface, its angle of incidence theta, angle of incidence theta will reflect back, will be reflect back with a same angle, with a same angle of scattering angle theta. And when the path difference, when the path difference or interplanar distance both are same, when the path difference or interplanar distance d is equal to a whole number, is a whole number or integer, n of wavelength. That means integer n types wavelength. We get the constructive interference. Constructive interference will occurs. It mathematically represented as 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda. So this is the mathematical expression. So what is this last state? That when the X-ray will be incident on the crystal surface, its angle of incidence will be theta. Its angle of incidence will be theta. So this is the angle of incidence theta, and will be reflect back with the same angle of scattering angle, with the same scattering angle theta. The path difference or interplanar distance. So this is the elements base. This is the interplanar distance d. The interplanar distance or path difference d should be equal to, path difference should be equal to what? Integer or whole number times the wavelength. So constructive interference will occur. So this is the mathematical expression. So interplanar or path difference should be equal to n times lambda. Lambda is the wavelength. So this is the law. So when the X-ray will be incident on the crystal surface, an angle of incidence theta will reflect back with a scattering angle theta. When the path difference d or interplanar distance d, 2d sin theta should be equal to n times lambda. So in the examination, state Bragg's law is asked for 2 marks. Either write this or explain the mathematical expression 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda, right? And explain each term, where d is the interplanar distance, theta is the angle, n is the integer, and lambda is the wavelength. Where what is d? D is the interplanar distance. D is the interplanar distance. Theta is the angle. N is the integer. N is integer, represented the order of scattered beam, and lambda is the wavelength. Either write the mathematical expression or write the statement. So this is the Bragg's law. So William Henry Bragg and his son William Lawrence Bragg gave the law. Therefore, this is named as the Bragg's law. So due to this discovery, they get the Nobel Prize in the year 1915 for their service in the analysis of the crystal structure by means of the X-ray. So according to this law will be stated that when the X-ray will be incident on the crystal surface, its angle of incidence theta will reflect back with the same angle of scattering angle theta. When the path difference or the interplanar distance d should be equal to the n times wavelength. So therefore, we expect the constructive interference will occur. So this is the Bragg's law. So this is the mathematical expression. Mathematical expression is given by Bragg's law is given by 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda. This is very important. 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda. So this is the statement of Bragg's law, and this is the mathematical expression. Next is proof, or this is the proof for Bragg's law or explanation. In the examination, they ask for 6 marks. State and explain Bragg's law state and explain Bragg's law, or state the proof, write the proof of Bragg's law. So state and explain Bragg's law. We have to prove that Bragg's law 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda. According to that, this figure represents the set of atoms. These are the set of atoms. We know that any molecule, they have the set of atoms. Let us consider in this figure, this figure represents a set of atoms with a small portion of two-dimensional slice of the crystal. Let us consider the interplanar distance will be d. The interplanar distance between these two slices of crystal. So these two slices, this is the 1, 2, 3. These between these two, there is a interplanar distance. Interplanar distance is represented by small letter d. So we know that a beam of X-rays which first incident at the angle theta. This is the beam of X-rays. Beam of X-rays will be incidence at the angle, we know that theta. Angle theta on the atom A. So let us consider this is the atom A. So let a beam of X-rays is incident on the angle theta on the atom A. This is the atom A. In the first plane, this is the first plane. This is the second plane. This is the third plane. So on the first plane. And atom B. So let us consider this is the atom B. So in the next plane, in the atom B in the next plane, this is the atom B in the next plane. So again, this is a beam of X-rays is incident at the atom B in the next plane. So then each of them scatters a part of the beam in random direction. It will be scattered. It will be scattered. So let this represented as this is P, this is Q, this is R, S, P. So when this is the beam of X-rays is incidence at an angle theta on the atom A in the first plane. Similarly, the beam of X-rays is incidence at an angle theta on the atom B in the next plane or the second plane. Therefore, we know that after when this incidence, after that what happens? They will be scattered in the random direction. So this is represent P. P are incident beam, and QS are the scattered beam. So when the scattered X-ray beam are parallel, the scattered beams are parallel and their path difference is represented by lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, etc. and so on. When the scattered X-ray beams are parallel and their path difference, this is the path difference. Path difference given by lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, etc. and so on. They produce we know that constructive interference. Therefore, they produce the which interference? Constructive interference. We already know that Bragg's law gives the constructive interference. So they expect constructive interference. In general, we know that what is the path difference? In generally, what we write it as 1 lambda, 1 lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda. Generally, we write it as n lambda. That is, when the X-rays are incident on the one of the angle, they are reflected. Incidence angle will be reflected or scattered. General path difference is given by n lambda. Let us consider the rays PA and RB. Let us consider the rays P, A, R, B have a common scattering angle which is equal to the angle of incidence theta. We know that already according to Bragg's law, the incident angle should be equal to scattered angle. Incident angle should be equal to scattered angle. So this will be equal to this. And also, what is the Bragg's law mathematically represented? 2d sin theta should be equal to n lambda. So this is the equation 1. The path difference between the reflected X-ray beam AQ and BS. The path difference between the reflected, which one is the reflected X-ray beam? AQ and BS. Both are the reflected X-ray beam. So therefore, this path difference is given by the path difference between the reflected AQ and BS is given by path difference. Path difference should be equal to before we derive the path difference between the reflected rays. Draw the tangent, draw the perpendicular line. So let us name it as this is M and this is N. So this angle is also a theta. This is also a theta. So to determine the path difference between the scattered beam, path difference should be equal to MB plus BN. MB plus BN. But in this figure, we notified that MB is equal to BN. Both the distance will be same and it should be equal to AB sin theta. Path difference between the scattered or the reflected X-ray beam AQ BS is given by path difference is equal to MB plus BN. But we know that in the figure we notify that MB should be equal to BN. MB should be equal to BN. R is equal to AB times sin theta. But we know that what is AB? AB is nothing but what? D. AB is equal to D. Interplanar distance AB is equal to D. Therefore, MB should be equal to BN should be equal to AB is D sin theta. So this is plane 1 and this is plane 2. This is plane 3. But we know that constructive interference, the path difference is what? For constructive interference, path difference is equal to n lambda. For constructive interference, path difference is equal to n lambda. Therefore, path difference is equal to MB plus BN. Path difference should be equal to MB plus BN. What is MB? MB is D sin theta. What is BN? BN is also D sin theta. Therefore, path difference is equal to D sin theta plus D sin theta is 2D sin theta. This is equation, take it as equation 3. From equation 2 and equation 3, LHS same is RHS same. Therefore, 2D sin theta is equal to n lambda. So hence the Bragg's law. So this proves that Bragg's law. So this is the explanation of Bragg's law. This figure represents the set of atoms which is a smaller portion of two-dimensional slice of the crystal. Let the interplanar distance should be taken as B. A beam of X-rays first incidence at the atom A with an angle theta in in the first plane, then the R is the beam of X-rays is incidence at the atom B with an angle theta in the next or second plane. After that, the each beam will be scattered in the random direction. Both the beam will be scattered in the random direction. When the scattered X-ray beam are parallel, these scattered beams are parallel, their path difference is given by 1 lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, etc. and so on. Therefore, they produce the constructive interference. In generally, the path difference can be written as path difference is equal to n lambda. That is, when the X-rays are incident and the angle, X-rays will be incidence and angle, they can be reflected. So the rays PA in this figure we observe that the ray PA and RB, PA and RB have a common scattering angle theta, and also it should be equal to angle of incidence. We know that according to Bragg's law, in incident angle should be equal to the reflected or scattered angle theta. Therefore, and also mathematical expression of Bragg's law is given by 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda. So they take it as this is equation 1. So we know that the path difference between the scattered beam, path difference between the scattered beam is given by path difference is equal to is nothing but MB plus BN. How we get? Just write the perpendicular, draw two perpendicular lines to the second. Draw two perpendicular to this RB and PS. This is the perpendicular. This MB should be equal to BN and MB should be equal to BN. This should be equal to AB times sin theta. So this is the two perpendicular. We are already draw that. MB should be equal to BN. This should be equal to AB into sin theta. But we know that what is AB? AB is nothing but what? AB should be equal to what? Interplanar distance D. Therefore, AB should be equal to D. MB should be equal to BN should be equal to AB becomes D sin theta. We know that already we know that for constructive interference, what is the path difference? Path difference general formula PD. Path difference should be equal to n lambda. So take it as this is equation 2. And then path difference between the scattered rays will be equal to what? MB plus BN. Path difference between the scattered ray will be equal to MB plus BN. What is MB? MB is D sin theta. What is BN? Again D sin theta. D sin theta plus D sin theta become 2D sin theta. Compare equation 2 and 3. Or from equation 2 and 3, what we write? 2D sin theta is equal to n lambda. This proves that the 2D sin theta is equal to n lambda is what? Bragg's law. Hence we get the Bragg's law. So this is the statement and explain of the Bragg's law. So any doubt in this? Mosley law and Bragg's law, these are the very important. Why? Because this is for examination. They examine in the examination. They ask several times state and explain Bragg's law, Mosley law. So this is very important. Any doubt in this Bragg's law statement or proof of the Bragg's law and also Mosley law? Any doubt? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದ್ಯಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
So any doubt in this Bragg's law or Mosley law? So ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ?
No, ma'am.
ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ. ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ವೋ? Any doubt, boys, girls? Any doubt in this? This is very important.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀರಾ?
ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ.
ಚಂದು ನಾಳೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀಯಾ?
ಅವ್ನು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿ.
ಅವ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ನನ್ನನ್ನ ತಾನೇ ಚಂದು, ನಿನ್ನನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ? ಬಾಯ್ ನೆನೆ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ತಾನೆ, ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ? ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ದಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ತಾನೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂಡೇ ಆರ್ ಟ್ಯೂಸ್ಡೇ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ವಾಟ್ಸ್ಆಪ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯೋದನ್ನ ಮರಿಬೇಡಿ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ. ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು.
ಜೆರಾಕ್ಸ್
next week-
ಕೊಡಲ್ವಾ?
ತುಂಬಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ.
ಹಾ ಚಂದು ಜೆರಾಕ್ಸ್ ಏ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಾನ್ ನೋಟ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನ PDF ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜೆರಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ ತೆಗ್ದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್. ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು. ನಾ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ನಂಗೆ ತೋರ್ಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಹಾ
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ?
ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದ್ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವ್ ಹೇಳಿದನ್ನ ಬರೀರಿ. ಇನ್ನ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈ ವೀಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ನೋಟ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಬರೀರಿ. ನಾನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಮಂಡೇ ವೆಡ್ನೆಸ್ಡೇ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು. ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಮೇಡಮ್ದು ನಂದು ಇಬ್ಬರದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀರಿ. ಬಟ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗಿ ಬರಿಬೇಡಿ. ನಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಅವ್ದು ಬೇರೆ. ಸೊ ನಂದು ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಇವಾಗ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ರೇಸ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಬರೀರಿ. ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಮೇಡಮ್ದು ಬರೀರಿ. ಅದೇ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರಿಬೇಡಿ. ಸೊ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಹೇಳ್ದಾಗ ತೋರಿಸ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ನಾನು
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಉದಯ್-
ದೇವನಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಉದಯ್ ಶಂಕರ್ ಸರ್ ತಗೊಳಲ್ವಾ?
ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ.
ಚಂದು ಅನ್ನೇ ಸರಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಚಂದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಸತಿ ಉದಯ್ ಶಂಕರ್ ಸರ್ ತಗೊಳಲ್ಲ. ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವತ್ತೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ 1 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಎ ಸೌಮ್ಯ ಮೇಡಮ್ ತಗೋತಾರೆ, ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಹಾಫ್ ಅವ್ರು ತಗೋತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಅರ್ಧ ಮತ್ತೆ